Hello and welcome back to the channel. We have another update today for September 2nd in the Vallow Daybell case. Special Prosecutor Rob Wood filed a motion for Joinder today with the goal of joining Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell's cases into one case. Let's read through the documents. I'll put them up on the screen. They are also up in Discord if you wish to download them and have a copy for yourself. And then we'll talk a little bit about what they mean. So, right off the bat, there are two filings, one for Lori's case and one for Chad's case. I'm just going to read through one because they're almost identical, so there's no point in reading through both. But I'll have them all up in Discord for you. Alright, let's start with this memorandum in support of the motion for Joinder. The state of Idaho has moved this court for an order joining defendant Lori Vallow Daybell's case with her co-defendant Chad Daybell's case, Fremont County case number blah blah blah, based on the following. The statement of facts. The defendant, Lori Vallow Daybell, hereinafter Lori Daybell, was charged on June 29, 2020, with 2 counts of conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence, a felony in violation of Idaho Code blah blah blah. The co-defendant, Chad Daybell, hereinafter Chad Daybell, was charged with 2 counts of destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence, a felony in violation of Idaho Code blah blah blah, and 2 counts of conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence, a felony in violation of Idaho Code blah blah blah, on June 10, 2020. The charges in both cases are based on actions alleged to have occurred between September 8, 2019 and June 9, 2020, and involve the willful destruction, alteration, and or concealment of dead bodies to cover up the commission of a felony. Specifically, the charges relate to the discovery of Lori Daybell's minor children's bodies on her husband Chad Daybell's property, and Lori Daybell's alleged conspiracy with Chad Daybell and others, including, but not necessarily limited to, her brother Alex Cox, now deceased, in committing those acts. A preliminary hearing was held in Chad Daybell's case on August 3rd and 4th, 2020. At the conclusion of the preliminary hearing, Chad Daybell was bound over to answer to the district court. Lori Daybell waived her preliminary hearing, which was scheduled to be heard on August 10th and 11th, 2020. Argument. Idaho Rule of Criminal Procedure 8b states joinder of defendants. 2 or more defendants may be charged on the same complaint, indictment, or information if they are alleged to have participated in the same act or transaction in the say of acts, transactions constituting an offense or offenses. The defendants may be charged in 1 or more counts together or separately, and all of the defendants need not be charged in each count. Further, Idaho Rule of Criminal Procedure 13 provides the court may order that 2 or more complaints, indictments, or informations may be tried together if the offenses and the defendants, if there is more than one, could have been joined in a single complaint, indictment, or information. The procedure is the same as if the prosecution were under a single complaint, indictment, or information. The Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 8b is essentially the same as IRCP 8b. The indictment or information may charge 2 or more defendants if they are alleged to have participated in the same act or transaction, or in the same series of acts or transaction, constitution, an offense, or offenses. The defendants may be charged in 1 or more counts together or separately. All defendants need not be charged in each count. In Zafiro v. U.S., the U.S. Supreme Court provides joint trials play a vital role in the criminal justice system. They promote efficiency and serve the interests of justice by avoiding the scandal and inequity of inconsistent verdicts. For these reasons, we repeatedly have approved the use of joint trials. Lists a whole bunch of case citings here. Joint trials do conserve state funds, diminish inconvenience to witnesses and public authorities, avoid delays in bringing those accused of crime to trial. In Zafiro, the court recognized that Rule 8b and 14 are designed to promote economy and efficiency and to avoid a multiplicity of trials, so long as these objectives can be achieved without substantial prejudice to the right of the defendants of a fair trial. The Eighth Circuit Court provided a broad interpretation of Rule 8b is undoubtedly encouraged in the interests of more efficient administration of criminal trials. This in no way detracts from the rights of individuals to avoid prejudicial joinder. The trial court can always entertain a motion to sever under Rule 14 to determine prejudice to individuals. In addition, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has determined that joint trials are particularly appropriate where co-defendants are charged with a conspiracy. The Idaho Court of Appeals has also recognized the benefit of consolidating trials of co-defendants. In State v. Blake, the court reviewed and upheld the district court's findings that an appropriate and fair trial can be accomplished in a joint trial, and the benefits of a joint trial in light of the allegations of conspiracy, as well as the need for the same witnesses and evidence, outweighs any concerns raised. Recently, the Federal District Court for the District of New Mexico also reviewed the joinder of co-defendants trials where there was a conspiracy charge and determined that Fed Crim P8B is construed broadly to allow liberal joinder to enhance the efficiency of the judicial system. More citations there. Both allow for the consolidation of co-defendants if they are alleged to have participated in the same act, transaction, or in the same series of acts, transactions, constitutions, and offense. Alright, skipping ahead through the rest of the legal stuff. Due to the nature of the conspiracy charges against the Daybells, the state's evidence in both cases is nearly identical, and the trial for each case will be nearly identical. Furthermore, the statements that the Daybells and Alex Cox each made as co-conspirators in furtherance of the conspiracy are allowed as evidence against each of them, and as such it promotes judicial economy and efficiency to have each defendant in the same trial while those statements are introduced. The evidence presented at Chad Daybell's preliminary hearing, which will be expanded on at trial, established that the Daybells acted in concert to mislead law enforcement and others in regards to the location of the deceased children's bodies. Judicial economy would require that the state not be required to try essentially identical cases of a husband and wife acting as co-conspirators twice. Upon waiving her preliminary hearing, Lori Daybell's case was assigned to a different district court judge than Chad Daybell's case. Assigning the defendants' cases to separate judges will create an undue burden on the state by requiring repetitive work and hearings. The victims and living relatives of the deceased minor children are also prejudiced if they desire to attend all the hearings they have a right to attend. The state understands the high-profile nature of this case and the workload it will present to the court and the judge that presides over the case. However, the state maintains that judicial economy, efficiency, and consistency will be better served by consolidating the cases and assigning the consolidated case to one judge. Further consolidating the cases removes the possibility of inconsistent pretrial rulings on issues of evidence and procedure. Due to the sensitive nature of the case, the family members of the deceased victims should not be required to endure multiple repetitive trials and hearings when the case can and should be consolidated. Conclusion: the joinder of trials for co-defendants alleged to have been involved in the same act or transaction is favored by the courts. Furthermore, the courts have consistently determined that the joinder of co-defendants' cases are especially appropriate where they are charged with conspiracy. In the case before this court, the Daybells are both charged with the same crimes of conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence. Chad Daybell's further charges of destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence are the resulting and completed crimes of their conspiracy. Trials in these matters will require the same witnesses and evidence being presented by the state. In order to preserve the judicial economy and efficiency, avoid delays in bringing either defendant to trial, and for the benefit of the witnesses and victims, these cases should be joined. This is the exact type of scenario completed under IRCP 8B and 13. Therefore, the state respectfully requests the court consolidate the Daybells cases into one case. So, it's pretty self-explanatory. Right? He's just saying, why do the same case twice? It's pretty much the same evidence, the same witnesses. Let's just put it all into one. Now, this isn't unexpected. He did hint at this before during the preliminary hearing and other motions that we've seen. So now it's on the record. The judge has not issued a ruling. There is no date for the hearing for this motion yet, but I assume we'll get that pretty quick. And I will keep you up to date on that. The most interesting part of this is that in the beginning of this document where he's listing the co-conspirators, he includes Alex Cox, but says it's not limited to Alex Cox. Got that lawyer yet, Melanie Gibb? I hope so. So, that's what's going on here today. I will keep you up to date if there's anything else that's going to happen. All the documents are up in Discord, so feel free to pop in there and grab them and have a read through if you want to go over a lot more of the legal citations that were in there. There's probably some very interesting cases. So, until then, thank you all for watching. I appreciate your support, and I'll talk to you soon.